The Trump and Stormy Daniels case. You feel like the judge in that case should have stepped down?
Every trial lawyer I know that looked at that said the judge was way wrong. He should have excused himself. I've been listening to decades worth of lectures about judges need to recuse yourself. If your spouse, one of your children has an interest in the outcome of an action before you, you're supposed to bail on it. He didn't. The other thing is, remember when I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are the judges of the law and of the facts under the direction of the court. The judge did not charge the jury with the proper law under New York law. One of the things is you cannot bribe somebody to conceal a crime if there's no crime to be concealed. In other words, as part of the crime, the state had to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that there was an underlying offense, that hush money was being paid out to hush. The thing of it is if you have to pay somebody hush money to be quiet and it doesn't involve criminal activity, you got blackmailed. So what effectively is going on is Stormy Daniels blackmailed Trump, and instead of prosecuting her for blackmailing somebody, they prosecuted the victim of the blackmail. I think what they did is they threatened to prosecute her for blackmail if she didn't cooperate. The other thing, letting in all that salacious stuff about sex and how it went down, that was totally irrelevant to the case. That thing about other sexual activity was totally irrelevant to the case, because the issue was, one, first off, was there a crime that was to be hushed? There was no crime. She said, I wasn't raped, it was consensual, I wasn't drunk, I wasn't high. So it was a consensual matter. That's not a criminal act. So there was no crime to be hushed. So you cannot be convicted of being paid hush money to hush something that's not a crime. You got blackmailed. The other thing is the corporate entity gets brought in and he didn't properly charge the law. There was a gag order from a civil court saying that the corporation and Trump and anybody involved were not to say anything about what the basis for the settlement was. So if they had given an explicit revelation under the filings, it would have violated the gag order. So in other words, they effectively got indicted and convicted for following another court's orders. That's not going to lay. So Bragg, that's who did it. Yeah. I recently had one. I've never met this woman, but she was, I think she played Moesha's mama Moesha's mama in the series. So she made a statement to somebody a couple of years ago that some prominent TV judge had tried to molest her, and I think put a yard of tongue down her throat. I don't even know the woman. At the time this happened, and she said it wasn't Judge Mathis. So these clowns were talking, must have been Judge Joe Brown. Why? I don't even know the woman. She's not my type. And the other thing is, at the time it happened, I didn't have a TV show. I was still a state judge. And the person that did it was former Mayor Koch of New York. He had just been outed as being gay, and he threw his boyfriend under the bus, and he was trying to brag that he still had it going on with women. And he actually interviewed with a couple of radio personalities who gave me statements that that's what he admitted to. So it wasn't even me, it was Koch. I didn't even know the woman, still haven't met her. I actually know Brandy's real mama, who's an interesting woman. And by the way, she had some problems with the same damn CEO that I had the problems with. He a little nuts. But Hollywood is Hollywood. So, yeah. See, people get these rumors out and everybody wants to pounce on somebody if you don't go along with their little particular pet program.
Yeah, her name is Sheryl Lee Ralph.
I wouldn't know what she looked like if she walked through the door. And I never watched Moesha anyway. That was kid stuff. And at the time I got discovered, see, people keep thinking, well, you're nothing but a TV judge. Hell, I was in my 50s when they discovered me. I was the last judge on the James Earl Ray case, and I know that J. Edgar Hoover recruited the two-man team that did the shooting, and the FBI supplied the weapon. I'd gotten the youngest person in the world off death row. I was, to an extent, discovered because of my innovative sentencing and effective stuff as alternatives get people straightened out. I'd been trying a whole bunch of murder cases. I had done stuff that got quoted in appellate case law. You know, I have a pretty long background. It's even a brief resume goes on for a hell of a lot of pages. A lot of stuff I even forgot about. So to me, I wasn't particularly overwhelmed. I'm 50-some years old when they discovered me before I did my first show. I was in my 50s. So I had a life, and I'm looking at this, man, wow. And see, I had a perspective on it. When they discovered me and asked me, recruited me to come in and do this, they set up these promos before the show even hit the air. And I remember being in Chicago, downtown on the Loop, and they set this thing up and all these people are driving by, and you can see people looking out of the windows from the office buildings, and I'm embarrassed as hell. Chicago, a tough town, my kind of town, a Judge Joe Brown town. I felt like a damn fool out there saying this stuff like, damn, man, all these suckers looking at me, what the hell? And, you know, that gave you perspective. I said, man, you couldn't, I couldn't look at a movie for a long time after that. And I started seeing some of the people that were in these movies. The movies going, man, we got to make a move on so-and-so. Yeah, we need to kill this son of a bitch, blah, blah, blah. And then you run into the people in what they call one of these things where they sell the syndicated shows. And you see the guy and he's going, oh my God, I just creamed on myself. I just had such a time. It was such a macho part. I'm going, dude, man, damn. It's like hot, the flames are leaping, damn. Like, this is the dude that plays that role? Ooh, wait, you know, it was a shocking experience to see the unreality. And when you're dealing with Hollywood, you have these grown people for their whole adult lives have been about fantasy, make-believe, and trying to fool the public into thinking something that isn't real is real. So I'm going, damn. And then you'd get these invites to go discuss business with these studio executives. So they're sitting on the leather upholstered sofas at a 5-star hotel in the bar, and they're giggling about how they have stabbed each other in the back and gotten each other fired. I said, man, where I came from, you'd get some broken bones behind this kind of thing, and they're sitting up there giggling about it. I just said, you know, this isn't me. I don't need to hang with this.